you want to hear how discombobulated things are? This is insane. So regular MJ Morning Show listeners know that in 2024, last year, before I came to the show, 5 a.m., before I came to the studio on April 15th of 2024, I went to the Tampa, Maine Airport Post Office at 5 a.m. to mail 2 checks to the IRS. One for my tax due for my 2023 tax return, and then I had some estimated tax due for April 15 quarterly estimated. I had 2 different express priority mail envelopes. You know, with the tracking number, the 9505 tracking number. I bought the postage, the $9.85 at the time. It's since gone up to $11 and change. So I bought them at the kiosk. I put my checks and my IRS, documentation in each envelope, 2 different ones, 2 different P.O. boxes up in Charlotte, North Carolina, to mail the IRS my money on time, postmarked on the 15th of April. They never got the checks. They never got my mail. Anyway, U.S. Postal Service, Tampa Airport, loses my mail. 2 priority mail envelopes. We're talking about the big, the FedEx-sized big envelopes, the big cardboard, lost, gone. So a month later, they hadn't cashed my check. The tracking didn't show up, so I cancel the checks, and I pay the IRS again 30 days later on, May 15th instead of April 15th. All right? Full documentation, full proof. Anyway, I get assessed this fine. My penalty was like close to $30,000. I mean, it's ridiculous. Interest and penalties, in an enormous amount of money in penalty. Not that I'm paying them enough already, and then I get this ridiculous penalty. So we put together this packet. My CPA puts together this letter of appeal. Of, hey, we want tax abatement. We want the interest and penalties reversed. And we put together this whole package. The receipts from the kiosk, the actual USPS, the receipt that it prints out that shows the timestamp, the date. I even, as a wise ass, I took a selfie of myself, Fester, at the post office in front of the wall receptacles where you drop them into the wall inside the post office.
Right.
I took a picture of myself holding them up like sticking my tongue out at the IRS.
And did you have to send that to the IRS?
Yes, we did.
So the IRS sees the picture of you condescendingly
sticking
my tongue
denied. Out. Right. Anyway, then I was in touch with the local postmaster, and they started a trace. And then every month I would get an email from the U.S. Postal Service saying, we're still searching. Then finally last November, I got a final email. We can't find your 2 packages. They're irretrievably lost or something to that effect. We put together this whole packet of proof for the IRS. This is where it gets nutso. This is where it gets crazy. So we're waiting for months. We submitted this last November asking for and I paid the interest and penalties. Like $27,000, some ridiculous.
A lot of money.
$27,000. I mean, ridiculous, right? So we send this in. We finally got, this is nuts. We finally start getting responses like 2 weeks ago. I get a letter that says, we need another 60 days to come up with a determination on your request for tax and penalty and interest abatement.
That's a good thing.
Right. We need another 60 days.
Right.
So I get the letter in the mail. 3 days later, I get another letter in the mail that says you're denied.
Oh.
Wait a minute. We need another 60 days to come up with a determination. Then days later, I get another letter in the mail. Nope. You have not proved it. What do you mean I haven't proved it?
Guys.
My accountant said, I've got an old school accountant, old school CPA. He said it's irrefutable. He says this is the best proof packet that you could possibly put together. So, nope, you haven't met the burden of proof. And then, wait a second, then they say I have a history of being late. I have zero history of being late. It's like, you idiots. I had zero history of being late.
Where do they get that from?
Hang on, it gets better. It gets better. All right. So first letter, we need another 60 days.
Okay.
Days later, I get a letter that says, you're denied.
Denied.
You're screwed. In fact, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like this. Oh! Loser! Wait a minute. It gets better.
I mean, they didn't want to take any of the remaining 57 days that they asked for.
You ready for this?
Yeah, God.
Yesterday, I get a check in the mail with the refund amount.
Hold on. You got a check in the mail for 27?
Yes.
So they approved it.
What is going on?
You can't cash that check yet.
Of course I cashed the check.
Did you make a copy of it?
Yes, I made a copy of it. Michelle scanned it. Of course I called my CPA. So I'm like, I'm waiting for another check from the IRS because we overpaid on something else. We overpaid. We had some old data that was used on an old K1. Anyway, so I'm doing another refund. So I'm expecting that refund check. So I call my accountant and I sent my accountant the picture of the Department of the Treasury check, and he's like, well, I'm looking at the notations. I'm looking at the amount. The amount is only $300 away from his request for the abatement. So with their calculations of interest,
call it even.
Yeah, so hang on a minute.
You're going back to the 300, aren't you?
It's got to be that.
It has to be.
I mean, can you believe? I mean, how screwed up is the system that we need 60 more days? Then days later, nope. They only needed 3 more days. Then I'm denied. And then yesterday, I get the freaking refund check that we've requested. What? I feel like I'm in IRS, like I'm spinning around in IRS, like it's like a practical joke. It's like I'm on what was that old
game show?
No, what was the old where they pranked you? What was it? I'm punked. I'm on punked IRS edition.
You know, it's nice to see that the moral is eventually the IRS does the right thing for everybody.
Well, I don't think that's the case.
That's the moral. The moral is the IRS does a thorough job and does the right thing by MJ.
But I don't even know what's going on here.
They're putting you through the ringer on this.
I mean, totally through the ringer.
I know. I feel bad. I almost
God.
feel bad for you.
Holy frig on a stick.
You like the video? If so, go ahead and click like, share, subscribe, and get more.